Hello, this is Jeremy McGovern with American Farriers Journal, and I'm part of the team that puts together the International Hoof-Care Summit. The summit in 2013 is going to be held from January 29th to February 1st in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I'm talking with Brian Hampson, who's a member of the Australia Brumby Research Unit. Brian's going to be a presenter at the summit, and he's going to deliver 3 presentations that build on one another to break down the feral foot. And the model for this is going to be the Australian Brumby, the feral horse of that country. The first one is going to be an introduction to the feral foot. Second is going to build on that with pathologies of the feral foot. And both of these culminate to deliver Brian's third presentation, and that's going to cover whether or not the feral foot is a good model to use for hoof trimming. And I think when we typically look at agendas for conferences, we always want to find something that appeals specifically for us. So as a farrier, you may look at the summit agenda and say, how does this apply directly to my practice? And if you look at what Brian's going to talk about, regardless of what horses you work with, regardless of the modalities you employ, this is going to be a very important topic. And I think Brian's research is going to change a lot of ways that we think about the feral foot. Can you talk about that a little bit, Brian?
Well, our studies with the feral horses in Australia were as much horse ecology as what they were studying the horse's foot. And I think we learned a lot about how horses function, in a natural state, and that should be of interest to farriers and vets. What I'm talking about is things like movement patterns. How far horses go on a daily cycle, how often they water, how frequently they water, how far they're prepared to travel from water to feed, etc. I guess there's a lot of things that we've forgotten about how horses function as they've been as they become more and more domesticated and just fitted into our lifestyle. And it was good to get out there and learn a little bit about the natural horse, how he might have functioned 1,000 years ago.
And looking at your research and how it plays into your presentations, for the farriers and vets who attend the summit, what do you think is going to surprise them?
I guess when farriers see, a presentation topic, the wild horse foot or the feral horse foot, they're expecting that they're going to get, barefoot trimming, thrown in their face, and the benefits of trimming and, the disadvantages of shoeing, the sort of things that the argument that they're used to hearing. But that's not the discussion at all. It's actually, it goes a little bit the other way. When we started this study, we weren't out to study barefoot trimming or farrowing or anything. We just wanted to know what the natural horse's foot was all about. And I guess what we found was that the horse that does go barefoot has some consequences for that. And I think farriers would find that, surprising to hear someone get up and say that and give some evidence for that as well. So horses that travel long distances over a hard substrate, even though they're doing it by their own choice, they do pay consequences for their foot health, and some of them have very poor foot health. Yeah. And they would probably benefit from wearing horseshoes in some of those environments.
And by coming to the summit, you're not just going to be able to learn from Brian and his lectures, but you'll have the chance on the Tuesday night of the summit to be able to sit down at a round table with Brian and look at some of the hoof models of the Brumby feet to get a closer look at what he's talking about.
I'll be bringing 20 different feral horses' feet with me, and we can have a round table discussion with those models. The models have been freeze-dried and dissected sagittally, so you can see the inner workings of the foot, the digital cushion, the sole depth, the bony structure, the lamella structure. And yeah, it'd be good to sit around and have a discussion about the types of feet and what sort of environment that they're on, and look at those feet from the inside as well as externally.
And again, that roundtable is going to be on the Tuesday night of the summit, January 29th. Brian's presentations will be on January 29th, January 30th, and February 1st. You can find the complete agenda for the summit at www.ihcs2013.com. And one more point about those Brumby models, Brian will be giving away one of those at the summit. So one lucky winner will go home with a very cool model. So I want to say thanks for Brian for joining us. Be sure to check out the Summit site, and thanks for listening.